My name is Carter Brown. I'm from around this area. Actually, I'm originally from Jamaica, and I think that crafted part of the way that I view life these days, because my grandfather was a farmer, and she'll always talk about life doing everything, life making the coconut milk, life making the coconut oil, life picking the food itself, and things have changed. And these days, I'm a vegan, of course, and of course I talk about that a lot, but I don't talk about it too much because it's not really the whole emphasis when it comes to health, because we're all transitioning. What I've understood over the years of doing this for the last 10 years, I changed my diet when I was in college. And changing my diet in college meant that all my friends were gonna begin to laugh at me. You know, one minute I was doing everything with everyone, the next minute, I can't eat that. When it comes to weight loss and detoxing and being healthy and all the different things that's important to you, your family, your friends, and others may not be on the same path. And so a lot of times I find myself talking to people, coaching people with their health, and they would say, okay, give me this information and I go home and do it. Give me this information and I go home and do it. But what I found is that most people need more. They need a program, they need support, they need all the different things, because sometimes it's your wife or your husband or your kids at home that do not want to eat the healthy food, do not want to drink the healthy drinks. They bring everything else into the home, and when they begin to bring everything else in the home, what happens? You get tempted. Today's seminar, we're going to be talking about weight loss and detox. And that's the big word these days, weight loss, right? And it's been the big word. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So as long as weight loss is going to be around, there's money to be made in it. And a lot of people don't know what direction to go. Most people are just not in tune with their bodies. And so understanding your body's uniqueness, and that includes where you're from, that includes what you grew up eating, that includes the environment that you're in currently. Because some people live in Florida, but they grew up in New York. Some people live in Florida and they grew up in Guatemala. Whatever the case is, your body is attuned to various different environments, various different foods, various different things that's in the environment, and also different emotional things. We process emotional information, we process stress, we process all these different things differently, individually, and it makes a huge difference in the success that you get from weight loss as well as detoxing. And one of the reasons a lot of us aren't in tune with our bodies is because of the environment. We have all of these different things in the environment causing disruption in our bodies. So let's say, for example, you're the type of person who eats McDonald's on a frequent basis, or you drink sodas. So many different things are happening inside of your body as a response to those things, that sometimes you don't even hear your own body talking to you. You don't hear your own body telling you, I need some water. Instead, you think you're hungry. Oh, I need to get some rest. Instead, you go do something else. We have to first begin to listen to our bodies, understanding our body's uniqueness and understanding our body's needs in order to really, really make a breakthrough when it comes to weight loss and detoxing. You know, nature is created so perfectly. We didn't have to study it, we just had to follow it. And so eating more raw foods doesn't necessarily mean you go off and get a dehydrator and get all this stuff and become so heavily invested in all these foods, and it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could be just as simple as eating a salad before you eat your meal. Why? Because there are digestive enzymes in there. There are digestive enzymes in raw foods that go inside and start the job for you. Replenishes a lot that's already missing in there, and then guess what? When you eat your rice and potatoes, or of course, don't eat rice and potatoes together, but but when you eat your rice and beans, after, you get help. You get a lot of help with those digestive enzymes simply because you had that raw food salad before. And so a lot of times, once I was in a path where my goal was to be 50% raw, 50%. And how was I gonna do that? I was either gonna eat raw on those days, no cooked food on those days, and oh my gosh, in the beginning it was hard. Or I was gonna reduce my portions to match. So therefore, if I was gonna eat sweet potatoes and some steamed veggies, I was gonna also accompany this amount of portion of cooked food with this amount of portion of raw food. Hydration. We hear this all the time, right? We know the importance of drinking water, but what kind of water should we be drinking? Are we drinking the right water? Nobody knows these days, because where's the water coming from? Nobody really knows. However, you know one thing, you make an effort to drink more water. But our bodies are cellular, right? We see all of this stuff, we see the skin, we see the face, we see the hair, but what we don't see is cells bumping and doing their thing on an internal level, and the cells need hydration. Now, if the water isn't the best water, a lot of times what we end up doing is urinating it back out. When the molecular structure of the water is big, it passes back out. When the molecular structure of the water is small, you get more hydration. You get a better feel for the water. You feel more hydrated. And a lot of people may not realize this, because I have people that I've seen who drink all the water that they can find, and it doesn't give them the effect that they're looking for. I was 237 pounds, I remember that. And I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I was in college and I was starting to snore, and I didn't even see a problem with the weight. I was like, gosh, I can't snore. I'm 20 years old, why am I snoring? Like, this is, I didn't even look in the mirror and see that I was 50.
Did you wake yourself up?
I woke myself. That was the thing that got me. When I started waking myself up, I'm like, what happened? How did this happen? How did I start snoring? And then of course, I went to look for solutions to stop snoring, and found all this other information about health and wellness that really surprised me. But one of the big things that I started to take was kelp. And what, under the readings that I was doing at the time, they said, you know, if you're taking medication, kelp is not gonna affect that. Kelp is natural. Kelp is, not only is it strong in iodine, but it's also strong in trace minerals. Trace minerals, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, is where a lot of us are failing when it comes to the thyroid. And it's where a lot of us are failing when it comes to the internal organs. We are meant to absorb minerals. And I love talking about minerals, because anybody aware that we're electric? In a way, we are all electric. We're full of static energy. We're full of electricity. Our heart is the main conductor of that electricity, right? And so that electric vibe is filled in with the minerals. There's new research coming to the forefront that's educating people on how to properly sit. I think that I saw something that you have to be like that, and I was like, oh, how's that gonna work at work? How's that gonna work when I'm typing? The screen's gonna have to come from the top. But nonetheless, we're not designed to be sitting down. We're not designed to be just sitting around. We're designed to be moving. We're designed to be walking. And when you do get of age, what people don't tell you about exercise is that exercise actually stimulates new neurological developments in the brain. It's important to your cognitive abilities. A lot of people don't know that. But if you have friends and family, see if the ones that exercise more are a little bit sharper than the ones that don't. You'll probably find it to be that they are. Exercise is big. Your skin is huge. You've got to get rid of those toxins. You've got to get them off. And you also have to, well, not you don't have to, but a recommended thing to do, especially if you exercise a lot and you're into that stuff, is dry brushing. Dry brushing the skin. Brushing in the direction of the lymphatic system. Everybody understands the importance of probiotics, as we discussed earlier, right? And the importance of that is because inside of our GI system, we have 10 times, excuse me, not 10 times, but 100 times more cells than the whole entire body. Everything that happens in here dictates what happens outside. You know, nature is created so perfectly. We didn't have to study it, we just had to follow it.